Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous country, stands at a crossroads, beset by deep ethnic divisions and political power struggles. Once a symbol of independence, Ethiopia now faces overlapping crises: insurgencies, humanitarian disasters, and economic collapse. The 2020 Tigray conflict, sparked by a political dispute, unleashed a wave of violence that peace deals have failed to contain. New insurgencies in Amhara and Oromia have displaced millions, while the government's authority is challenged on multiple fronts. Regional instability is growing, with neighbors like Eritrea, Sudan, and Somalia drawn into Ethiopia's turmoil. Global powers watch anxiously, as Ethiopia's fate could reshape the Horn of Africa. This video explores the roots, evolution, and regional impact of Ethiopia's crisis and the daunting road to peace. The standoff between Abiy Ahmed's government and the TPLF erupted into war in November 2020 after disputed elections and a military base attack. The conflict quickly escalated, drawing in Amhara forces and Eritrea, and unleashing atrocities across Tigray. Hundreds of thousands died, millions were displaced, and war crimes were committed by all sides. The 2022 Pretoria Agreement ended large-scale fighting, but failed to resolve key issues. Foreign troops remain, and territorial disputes persist. Tigray remains in limbo, with peace fragile and grievances unresolved. Ethiopia's image as a regional anchor is shattered, and the seeds of future conflict remain. The war's legacy haunts the nation, complicating any path to reconciliation. The end of the Tigray War fractured alliances, sparking new insurgencies in Amhara and Oromia. The government's attempt to dismantle regional forces in Amhara triggered a violent backlash, with the Fano militia waging guerrilla war against federal troops. Brutal crackdowns and human rights abuses have deepened the crisis, crippling the region and displacing thousands. In Oromia, the Oromo Liberation Army continues its fight for autonomy, with peace talks repeatedly collapsing. Lawlessness, kidnappings, and attacks on officials have surged, exposing the government's waning control. ABY's militarized response has only fueled resentment and violence. Ethiopia's central authority is eroding, with the government struggling to govern beyond major cities. The nation teeters on the edge of fragmentation. Ethiopia's turmoil is destabilizing the Horn of Africa, redrawing alliances and stoking regional tensions. Eritrea, once an ally, now faces off with Ethiopia along a tense border, while Ethiopia's push for sea access has angered neighbors. A controversial deal with Somaliland inflamed Somalia, risking wider conflict. Disputes with Sudan over Al-Fashaga and with Egypt over the Nile Dam add to the volatility. Global powers, from the US to China, are drawn in by the region's strategic importance. The Red Sea corridor's security is at stake, making Ethiopia's crisis a global concern. The conflict's ripple effects threaten to engulf the entire region, and remains a distant hope. Ethiopia's fate will shape the Horn of Africa's future. Continued conflict risks state collapse, humanitarian disaster, and regional chaos. Stability demands a shift from militarization to inclusive political dialogue, addressing ethnic federalism and power sharing. National reconciliation requires credible negotiations, justice for victims, and international support tied to real progress. The African Union and global partners must push for comprehensive, enforceable peace. Ethiopia stands at a precipice, facing a choice between further fragmentation or the hard road to unity. The world can help, but peace must be chosen by Ethiopians themselves. The coming months will decide whether Ethiopia rebuilds or unravels.